Most people think being followed is just paranoia, but for Maya, it was horrifyingly real. What started as a gut feeling turned into the worst night of her life when she discovered someone had been living closer than she ever imagined. It began 2 weeks earlier. Maya had started to feel watched. No matter where she went, her job, the store, even the gym, there was this unnerving sense of eyes on her, but she could never spot anyone unusual. Then came the sounds, scratches on the walls at night, items she didn't remember moving, the bathroom light switching on by itself. Her friends dismissed it. "You're just stressed," they said. One morning, Maya found a sticky note on her fridge. "You look beautiful when you sleep." It wasn't her handwriting, and she lived alone. Panicked, she went to the police. They took her statement but couldn't do much. There were no signs of forced entry, no fingerprints, nothing. She was told to install a camera. She did as advised and installed a small hidden camera in her living room. The next morning, she checked the footage, and her blood froze. At 3:42 a.m., a man crawled out of her hallway closet, looked around, and walked toward her bedroom. She didn't sleep that night. Instead, she armed herself with a kitchen knife and called the police again. But they said unless he was caught, they couldn't enter the home. So she waited and hoped. Around 2:30 a.m., she heard a creak, not from outside, but inside her bedroom. The closet door was slightly ajar and she hadn't left it that way. Heart racing, Maya approached with trembling hands and yanked the door wide open. Inside, crammed between her coats, was a filthy man staring blankly. He didn't even flinch, just smiled. She screamed and ran. The man tried to follow, but she slammed the door and held it shut with her entire body. Moments later, sirens echoed through the night. The man was arrested. Turns out, he'd been living in her attic for over a week. Maya moved out that month. To this day, she double-checks every closet, every attic space, every night. Because sometimes when she hears the house creak, she still wonders if someone's hiding again. Tells as a temporary home, a place of rest between destinations. But for Sarah, a weekend getaway turned into a nightmare she'd never forget. What she found in her room shattered her trust in privacy forever. Sarah had checked into a boutique hotel just outside the city. It was quiet, clean, and had great reviews. She was in town for a conference and planned to unwind before a stressful work week. She unpacked, took a shower, and lounged in bed with her laptop. The room was cozy, but something didn't sit right. The mirror across the bed, something about it felt off. She noticed it while brushing her hair. The mirror didn't reflect the room properly. When she moved to the left, her reflection lagged for a split second. A chill ran down her spine. With her heart pounding, Sarah examined the mirror. She tapped on it. Instead of the dull thud of a wall-mounted mirror, it echoed, hollow. Her hands trembled as she tried to pull at the corners, and the entire mirror shifted. Behind the mirror was a tiny square compartment. Nestled inside was a small black object, no bigger than a matchbox, a blinking red light, a hidden camera watching the bed. She backed away, heart racing. Who was watching her? For how long? She ran to her laptop, checked the Wi-Fi. There it was, an unknown device connected to the same network. Room I-04. She dialed the front desk. The line rang, but no one answered. Not once, not after 5 tries. That's when she realized no hotel staff had been around since she checked in. She searched the entire room, under the lamp, in the smoke detector, even the alarm clock. She found 2 more cameras, one embedded in the clock, the other in a ceiling air vent. Sarah didn't grab anything except her bag and keys. She bolted down the stairs, only to find the lobby completely empty. No security, no staff, no one. From her car in the lot, she called the police. They arrived within minutes. After an investigation, they discovered the room had been rented under a fake business license, and the cameras were streaming to an unknown server overseas. The hotel shut down. The owners vanished. Authorities never found the source of the live stream. Sarah moved to a new city and never stayed in a hotel again without bringing a signal scanner and covering every mirror. You never really know who's watching. So the next time you check into a hotel room, ask yourself, how many eyes are actually... Let's see. When Jake moved into his late uncle's old farmhouse, he expected a peaceful escape. What he didn't expect was a horror hidden above him, watching silently from the attic. The first few nights were quiet, uneventful. Jake spent his time fixing squeaky doors, painting over water stains, and settling into the dusty home. But there was always an eerie stillness on the top floor. It was on the 4th night that he heard it, a dragging sound above his bedroom, soft at first, like boxes shifting. When he finally followed the noise, he found the attic door slightly ajar, even though he never touched it. Grabbing a flashlight, Jake climbed into the attic. The air was thick, stale, filled with cobwebs and forgotten boxes. In the far corner, something caught his eye. A metal chest, locked but not secure. Inside the chest were old newspapers, photos, and a leather-bound journal. On the first page, a name scratched in all caps. I am the night. What followed was not fiction. It was a confession. The journal chronicled killings. Details only the killer could know. Locations, victims' names, emotions felt during each murder. The handwriting shifted over time, growing more chaotic, unstable. Jake felt sick. These weren't old tales. The last entry was dated 6 months ago. In his town, he looked at the final line written in uneven ink. She screamed just beneath your window. Jake couldn't sleep. Every creak of the house, every gust of wind sent chills down his spine. Had his uncle known? Had he been the writer? Or was someone else still coming and going? The next morning, Jake took the journal to the police. At first, they were skeptical, but within hours, they matched 3 unsolved cases to the descriptions inside. The journal was real and recent. 2 days later, a hidden surveillance camera was found in the attic pointing toward Jake's room. Recently installed, battery-powered, and still warm. The police searched the attic and discovered more. Hidden trapdoors, footprints in the dust. Someone had been living up there, watching, waiting, possibly while Jake slept. Days later, a new entry appeared in the journal. Jake hadn't touched it. It read, "You shouldn't have moved in." The ink was fresh. Jake didn't wait another night. He packed everything and left. The house was later condemned. But even now he wonders, was it his uncle or someone still out there, still watching? Some houses hold more than memories. They hide things meant to stay buried. And sometimes, when you look too deep, something looks back.